G'day. I'm in another beautiful Melbourne park now. I'm just following my drunken honesty rant when I could see that plastic exposed in that LED light, thinking, shit, this is going to affect me during daylight hours and stuff. I've clearly pasted down my hairpiece, and I was back at school today, last 2 weeks really, and nobody said anything. I look completely different from normal, but I was a bit paranoid about that plastic showing. I'm wondering, it makes me think twice about poly. What do you think about it? But lace has the other complications of having that terrible hairline you've got to constantly clean up. This stuff, you don't have to really do any maintenance. But I just can't have that 0.03 millimeters of plastic exposed at the front. It's just such a straight line. And back here, if you ever don't put it on exact, you'd either have a gap or you've got that piece of plastic sticking out, which people can clearly see in broad daylight. But the lighting conditions in which you see me most of the time are horrific. I mean, you can usually see the density differences between two different hair densities. I don't think that's easy for people to spot. Like, in the videos I show you, I've got a bright LED shining onto the back bald patch on my head. I don't even really think it's that bad, to be honest. So, is it the extreme lighting of my bathroom that's fucking me up? Or is it reality? I mean, it's not like I'm going out at night at the moment. Also, there's not much you can do about my face. I think Mad Dog would agree. I've got a very punchable looking face. And it's made worse when the hair's just kind of pasted down like this. I know it's neat looking, but I look fucking awful. I need some sort of fluff to it. One of my favourite words, fluff. So, lace or poly. There's nothing else to choose. You've got to choose one. Maybe I have to make it wonky, the front hairline with the poly, so there's not a dead straight line. It looks so unnatural. Maybe that would trick the eye a bit. Just got to be really careful when you're putting glue on not to get into any of those jaggedy bits, because if it gets in the hair, then you can get it out with C22, but it's a very big pain in the ass. Probably less of a pain in the ass than pre-gluing your hair to scalp and then putting the hair piece down with lace, because it's always 2 or 3 goes to try to get the exactness of it. Whereas poly is basically, well, you're gluing the poly itself and you just push it down anywhere and it's exact, right? Poly's got to be the winner. The V-loops problem, even though they don't come out as much as they did in the dud version that I got once, I still think it's going to be a problem ongoing. I mean, you got the V-loop problem on the one hand with the poly if you don't get a good piece, but it's still going to be a problem ongoing. If you keep brushing your hair, it will eventually rip them out. Whereas lace doesn't really want to have its hairs ripped out just because you brush it, because they're tied in strong. Then the problem with lace is, the knots aren't always bleached very well. But just so long as they're mostly well bleached, you can't really tell that much. You can actually. If they're not bleached along here, the first couple of centimeters deep, you'll definitely notice. And if you've got something which is medium light or less density, then you'll see right through into all of them. So they have to be all perfect. So as long as your hair company is giving you strongly held V-loops for poly or completely bleached knots for lace, you might be able to use either. It's about 30 degrees Celsius here, 91.4 degrees, or is it something about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, I don't know. And the fraying and stuff on lace there and also around the perimeter, where it meets your natural hair, they are more forgiving than poly. Poly is exact It's a dead straight line, which doesn't sort of blend in. You've got to really make sure those hairs are pushed fluffily out into it. If you've got dead straight hair as your natural hair, and you've got dead straight hair for the piece, poly might be impossible to look right. You'd never get it exact, probably. You'd need to have some curl or buffiness to your hair. So I'd say if you have completely dead straight hair, poly might not be an option for you. I'll consider going back to lace, but it would be shining through like crazy in this heat. The glue would have melted. This whole thing would have been, the hairs that I press down at any point doing that, even just doing that with my fingers, I'd be pressing the hairs into the exposed, melted Ultra Hold glue. And like I said, I haven't really given Ghost Bond a fair go. I don't think that would melt as much. It's water-based. And I think if you get through that 24 hours of drying without your sweat fucking it up, or a shower or something, or rain wetting it, then it might not simply melt in the heat as much as an acrylic-based glue does. So the real solution might be lace and Ultra Hold, which is what people have been saying all along, but I've never got that right. I've never been successful with that. And it certainly isn't maintenance free. I mean, Ghost Bond will turn to dust out here, and it causes little balls of visible glue. Ultra Hold doesn't do that. It doesn't cause little balls of glue like that. It's all just one big sheet of stretchy, plasticky glue. Anyway, let me know, what do you think the ultimate combination is? I'm going to give you 2 options for hair and 2 options for glue, okay? So just choose out of these. You're going to choose lace or poly, and why? Or Ultra Hold or Ghost Bond, and why? Any derivative of those 2. Like if you say Ghost Bond XL versus Ghost Bond Platinum, I just want to know. So which combination of those 4 things? Thanks.